assume that the individual pursuing his or her own best interest will result in the maximum benefit for society as a whole.
Right.
And that certainly has to be questioned now.
Over 3 days in September 2008, when the financial crisis shocked the world, Queen Noor of Jordan, Sakyong Nipam Rinpoche, and Rabbi Irwin Kula conducted dialogues on compassionate leadership to the partners and senior managers of Goldman Sachs and to the trustees and close to 2,000 students of both New York University and Tufts University.
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you.
Great to have you.
Thank you very much.
The people who you despise most are as committed to justice as you are. It just turns out that their understanding of justice is radically different than yours. And the people who are committed to fairness, they're just as committed to fairness as you are, except it turns out that when you don't like the content of their fairness, you say they're unfair. But what we're really saying is that there's nobody who's so stupid that they're 100% wrong. However you polarize it, it turns out there's some partial truth on the other side that's the truth you need to learn most. I'd love for everybody in the next week learn some partial truth of someone who you despise. A view you despise, you know. Rallying the base is the easiest thing to do. That's the easy. That's not leadership.
So much of my experience has been in places where groups of people have needed leadership and have been led into the worst catastrophes. I have been with women who's lost 8,000 of their fathers, brothers, sons, grandfathers. All the male members of their family disappeared. These are Bosnian Muslim women joined by Serb and Croat women as well, all of whom had actually suffered losses in this conflict and tried to come together and acknowledge each other's grief. And I had been inside the mass graves. I'd seen the body parts and seen the reconstructions of what had happened during this extraordinary period. The leadership taken by members of these different groups, often women, to reach across ethnic, ideological, and the lines of emotion, the barriers of emotion and hatred and fear, and is a kind of leadership that I've found inspiring in so many different parts of the world. It's where you come together to find common ground, and it takes the personal responsibility, it takes the self-discipline. I'm using an extreme illustration, though, of where I've seen people able to do that and begin to build a future that seemed impossible a short time before.
I remember reading this meditation text. And the meditation text started out saying that in these really difficult times, and this was like in 1250, and this was, in my mind, a golden era within Buddhism, you could say. And so it kind of dawned on me that every situation has been difficult, and there's been difficulty throughout the whole period. Nowadays, with TV and internet and a lot of personal independence and so forth, it becomes more obvious to me that obviously we need leaders. We need an individual that has a certain binding factor and vision, but we ourselves need to have more strength, character or genuineness. And I think we need to ourselves exude qualities of strength and compassion if we're going to expect our leaders to have that too, in a sense. There needs to be some kind of interdependence, you could say. It's hard for us to do whatever we want and say the leaders should be doing this, and when they don't, then we give them a difficult time. When the Dalai Lama, he said when he goes home, he doesn't sit there and saying, I'm Dalai Lama, you know? He's just an individual. And he's trying to develop these qualities no different than anyone else. If all these difficulties are in another's hands, then we feel scared, we don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think this is even a spiritual discussion in a sense. It's if we ourselves, during this difficult time, need to become stronger individuals. And I believe now we're moving into a phase where it is going to be more and more is going to depend upon the strength of our own mind. Not even in a spiritual way. Can we handle the amount of information that's coming at us at this point? What is the leader's main qualities? They need to be strong and sustained. And we say non-aggressive, which means having patience. If you're a leader that does not have patience, you will not survive the long haul.